The journey of emotionally detaching from someone can be incredibly difficult, but it's also one of the most empowering and transformative processes we can undergo. This isn't about completely cutting ourselves off from others, but rather about understanding the crucial distinction between love and attachment. Through this, we learn to protect our own emotional well-being while letting go of unhealthy connections. The path to emotional detachment can often feel excruciating, as it forces us to face the grief of letting go. However, it also brings opportunities for self-growth, personal insight, and healing. Emotional detachment requires us to develop a deep understanding of our boundaries, how they not only shield us from external influences, but also protect us from the unhealthy parts of ourselves that cling to relationships or situations that no longer serve us. The importance of boundaries. One of the most significant aspects of emotional detachment is learning to establish and maintain boundaries. Boundaries are not about creating distance in a cold or unfeeling way, but rather about setting clear and respectful limits that protect our emotional health. By drawing these boundaries, we not only protect ourselves from others, but also safeguard the parts of ourselves that might otherwise become entangled in unhealthy emotional dynamics. When we set boundaries, we are doing something incredibly loving for ourselves. It's about recognizing that we deserve to have control over our emotional energy and deciding where we will direct it. Boundaries help us establish a balance between giving and receiving, ensuring that we do not deplete ourselves by constantly prioritizing others' needs over our own. Acknowledging pain. One of the hardest truths about emotional detachment is that it often involves confronting pain. Whether it's the end of a romantic relationship, the fading of a friendship, or the shifting dynamics within a family, detaching emotionally from someone can feel like a profound loss. This grief, however, is a natural and necessary part of the healing process. It is vital to allow ourselves the time and space to mourn the loss without rushing through the pain. Allowing ourselves to feel sadness, anger, or frustration is essential for emotional healing. When we suppress our emotions, we risk holding on to attachments that no longer benefit us. It is through experiencing the full range of these emotions that we can begin to release the attachment and free ourselves from its grip. Understanding love versus attachment. A key realization in the journey of emotional detachment is understanding the distinction between love and attachment. At first glance, they may seem similar, but they are fundamentally different in how they affect our emotional health. Love is expansive, unconditional, and rooted in freedom. It encourages personal growth for both individuals involved, allowing each person to retain their sense of self. In contrast, attachment often arises from insecurity, the fear of loss, or the need for validation. It can lead to dependency and emotional suffocation. When we love, we appreciate and care for someone without expecting anything in return. Attachment, on the other hand, makes us dependent on the other person's presence or approval to feel complete. Focusing on self-worth. Emotional detachment requires a deep connection to self-worth. Often, we tie our value to external sources, whether it's the approval of others, the stability without needing to prove anything to anyone, forms the foundation for emotional independence. By cultivating this internal sense of worth, we free ourselves from seeking validation through others and learn to trust in our own ability to navigate our emotions and relationships. Shifting perspective on letting go. A critical aspect of emotional detachment is shifting how we perceive the act of letting go. Often we view letting go as a loss, a painful separation from something or someone that once held significant meaning in our lives. However, the true power of detachment comes when we realize that letting go isn't about abandoning or severing ties. It's about releasing what no longer serves us, making space for personal growth and healing. Letting go is not an act of giving up. It's an act of self-liberation. It allows us to let go of attachments that weigh us down, preventing us from living authentically. By changing our perspective on letting go, we open ourselves up to new opportunities, experiences, and relationships that are more aligned with our current values and emotional needs. We honor the past without allowing it to hold us back from the future we deserve. Practicing radical self-compassion. A powerful tool in the process of emotional detachment is radical self-compassion. This involves treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and patience we would offer a close friend or loved one during difficult times. So often, we are our own harshest critics, judging ourselves for feeling pain or struggling to heal. Radical self-compassion asks us to let go of self-judgment and embrace our humanity with grace. Self-compassion involves acknowledging our imperfections, allowing ourselves to experience pain without rushing through it or suppressing it. It's about meeting ourselves where we are in our emotional journey, without the need to measure progress by external standards or timelines. This process helps us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and reinforces the belief that we are worthy of love, care, and kindness simply because we exist. Trusting the healing process. To trust the healing process means accepting that we can't rush our emotions or force ourselves to move on. It requires patience with ourselves, knowing that even on the difficult days, we are still making progress. Healing doesn't happen on a set timeline. It unfolds gradually, and we must allow it to happen in its own time. By trusting in the process, we give ourselves permission to feel everything we need to feel and move through the emotions at our own pace. Healing is not about perfection. Another important aspect of emotional detachment is understanding that healing is not about perfection. We live in a society that often expects quick results and moving on after emotional upheaval, but healing doesn't work that way. It's not about getting over the pain as quickly as possible or pretending that everything is fine. True healing happens when we allow ourselves to sit with discomfort and embrace the messiness of the journey. By letting go of the need for perfection, we can shift our focus from how quickly we should be healing to appreciating each small step forward. Every emotion we feel, every memory we confront, and every setback we experience contributes to our growth. This shift in perspective allows us to view the healing process as an opportunity for self-discovery and emotional resilience. The role of self-worth in emotional detachment. Focusing on self-worth is an essential part of emotional detachment. When we rely on others to validate our worth, we risk losing sight of our own value and emotional independence. Self-worth is about understanding and embracing the truth that we are inherently valuable, regardless of external factors or relationships.